Hi guys, it's Riley here and welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a Q&A video rather than one of my typical vlogs. For those of you who are new here, most of my videos are either vlogs about Florida, where I live, or what I do for work, which is accounting. And recently I posted a few accounting vlogs, days in my life working in accounting, what it's like working in accounting, and I've received quite a few questions about my job and what it's like to be an accountant. So I figured I would sit down and just do a Q&A style video and try and answer some of my most frequently asked questions on this channel. And of course, everything I say is just my opinion and it's my personal experience. If you have a different experience, awesome. Leave a comment down below if you have a different opinion. Always welcome here. But I hope this video is at least a little bit helpful in case you have any interest or curiosity about accounting. And I do have my laptop right in front of me. In case the lighting's a little bit weird, it's because my laptop light's shining on me and I have some notes, so in case I'm looking down a lot, that is why. I think that's enough chit chat. Let's get right into the video. I want to start out by giving just a little bit of my background and my personal experience working as an accountant. So I graduated college in 2019 and I have a double major in accounting and finance. I only have my bachelor's degree. I do not have my master's degree, and I actually have 150 credit hours, but I do not have my CPA. I never actually sat for my exam to get my CPA. So right now it is March. Coming up at the end of May, I will have 5 years of accounting experience. I am 27 years old, and so I don't know that I would necessarily call myself an expert, but I do think I can offer some helpful feedback. So let's go ahead and jump into the questions. Question number 1 is, how do you get your degree in accounting or any type of recommendations for college? So I would say most employers want to see a 4-year bachelor's degree at least. You can get an associate's degree, I believe, so that would probably work as well. And some do prefer a master's degree. Like I said, I do not have my master's, but there are some jobs where it will say master's degree preferred. Some advice for college is I recommend trying to plan ahead. My school offered a 4+1 program, which essentially was an accelerated program to get your master's degree. You could get your bachelor's degree in, I believe, either 3 or 3.5 years, and then your last year was focused solely on your master's. Now, every state, I believe, has different requirements to get your CPA, but a big requirement for a lot of states is you need 150 credit hours. Typically, you take 30 credits in a year for school. So 4 years puts you at 120 credits, and that 150 credit hours is essentially a 5th year of school. Now, like I said, I don't have my master's, and I was able to get 150 credits in 4 years. So it is possible, and I did that again by double majoring in accounting and finance. If you want to get your degree and you're not really interested in going for your master's, but you're unsure if you want to sit for your CPA exam or not, it is definitely possible to get your 150 credit hours in just 4 years. And if you're really unsure, you can always get your master's down the road. Of course, it is easier while you're still in school and you're still in the study mode to knock out your master's right away. But some employers do offer compensation for getting your master's. They might increase your salary, and some employers actually will pay or put a certain amount towards your master's degree. I will say accounting does also pair very well with other business majors. If you want to do marketing, management, finance goes really well with accounting. Me. That is something to think about if you're not sure if you like accounting or if you like a different area in business. Question number 2 that I get asked a lot is, what kind of jobs are available to you with an accounting degree? And the answer I have is probably a lot more than what you think. Let me start out by saying this. Most accountants do not do taxes. A lot of them do, which is very wonderful. We definitely need our tax accountants, but the majority, including myself, do not do taxes. There's so much more to accounting than taxes. And if you do like taxes, or you find yourself enjoying a tax class in college and you think you might want to go that route, that's definitely awesome. Like I said, we need those tax accountants because not everybody can do it. So some other jobs you can get besides being a tax accountant is you can go into public accounting. If you want to work in public accounting, then that typically means you work for an accounting firm who provides a service to clients. So usually this means you're either going to work in tax or you're going to work in audit. You can also work in consulting, but that usually requires some prior experience. So me, for example, I worked for 1 year in public accounting as an auditor, and like I said, I did not get my CPA. So you can actually work for a public accounting firm while studying for your CPA, or if you're trying to pursue your CPA. You do not have to be licensed right out of college or before you start your career. But you will need it after a certain number of years, and usually your employer will give you guidelines in terms of getting your CPA, or you might just top out at a management level. So instead of being promoted to a manager, you might only stay as a staff accountant or possibly a senior accountant or senior associate, rather than receiving higher promotions without getting your CPA. So public accounting, you will definitely need your CPA at some point down the line. And on the flip side, if you don't want to work in public accounting, you can also work in private accounting, also known as corporate accounting or industry, sometimes it's referred to. This means you work for a single company and perform accounting functions for them. So rather than working for an accounting firm where you're performing tax or audit procedures over other companies, you're working for one single company as an accountant and performing their accounting functions. For example, as a staff accountant right out of college, you might be placed in an accounts payable department, a payroll department, a fixed assets department. I spent a lot of time working in fixed assets. And depending on how big the company is, you might be placed in one of these specific areas of accounting, or if you work for a smaller company, you might touch a lot of different areas of accounting. I do want to put it out there that if you are interested in tax or audit, but you don't want to get your CPA, there are also tax accountant positions as well as internal audit positions at companies where you don't need your CPA. Again, as long as you're just working internally for the company. One really great thing about accounting is that you can work at any company in any industry, and you can even work for yourself running your own business. So overall, if you're interested in working in accounting, or if you're interested in changing your career path and maybe you currently work in accounting but you're looking for something different, the good news is there are a lot of different options. Moving on to question number 3, how to get a job in accounting. And I've gotten quite a few number of comments about getting a job in accounting. First and foremost, get your degree and just start applying. There's really no straightforward path, and everybody's path looks a little bit different. But my biggest piece of advice is just start applying. Start applying to any and all jobs you can find or that you might be interested in. If you're just starting out, for example, if you're changing your career path, or maybe you're just graduating college, look for staff or associate level jobs rather than just searching on job sites for accountant or accounting roles. Try and be a little bit more specific and look at those entry-level jobs. Again, a staff accountant or associate level is a really good place to start. I also know it can be really difficult because a lot of jobs have listed under their requirements 1 or 2 years of experience, even if they're entry-level jobs. And I remember that being a really big struggle for me when I first graduated. I was like, this is so tough. Everybody wants to see at least a couple years of experience that I don't have. I just graduated. How am I supposed to get started? And my advice to you is just apply anyways. Even if it says 1 to 2 years of experience preferred, that preferred doesn't mean that they're gonna eliminate you automatically if you don't have any experience. Just try, just apply, because you really never know. That may be a company's preference, but they may be willing to accept someone with less experience. Also, search multiple job sites. There are so many job sites that are available to us, and that is definitely a huge plus. Use Indeed, use Glassdoor, use LinkedIn, use any and all search engines you can find if you are struggling to find a job. I promise you, you will find something. Searching a number of different job sites can even just give you an idea about what kind of jobs exist out there and what kind of jobs are available. And of course, keep trying and do not give up. Do not compare yourself to other people. Some people might have a job before they graduate. Some people, it might take a year before getting a job. But the important thing is to just not give up. There is a job out there for you. Question number 4, I wanted to talk about pros and cons of accounting. So it's not really a question, but I do just want to cover some pros and cons of working in accounting. And again, this is just based on my own personal experience. So the first pro I want to talk about is flexibility. Now, more companies are switching to fully in-office positions, but the good news is if you work in accounting, a lot of positions are still hybrid or they're fully remote. And even if a position isn't listed as hybrid or fully remote, I have seen companies offer that to employees that they really want to keep or they really want to hire. So that flexibility of being able to work either in an office or from home is definitely very, very nice. Even me currently, I am full-time in the office, but I'm still provided with a laptop. So if there is ever a day I'm sick and can't make it into the office, but I still want to work, I do still have the option to work from home. And if I have a doctor's appointment or any other types of obligations, I do still have the option to work at home. And I would say that's definitely how most companies, I can't say all companies, but that is how most or a lot of companies function as well. So if remote or hybrid work is something you're interested in, I would say it's definitely still pretty prevalent in accounting. And my biggest piece of advice for that is you just have to figure out what works best for you. I've done all three. I have been full-time in the office, I've been fully remote, and I've been in the middle as hybrid. So you really just need to figure out what type of environment you work best in. Next, I want to talk about a con that goes along with flexibility. While a lot of jobs are flexible, most companies, again I say most, and this has been my experience over the past 5 years, that every company I've worked at, they do still have specific work hours that you are expected to be online for. 8 to 5 is what I've seen across the board. So you log on at 8 a.m., log off at 5 p.m., and then you have an hour lunch somewhere in the middle. Again, that's not a generalization for all companies, but that has just been my experience. In addition to working that 8 to 5 standard number of hours during the week, most jobs also have longer hours during different times of the year, the quarter, or the month. So in public accounting, you may work 50, 60, 70, 80, I've seen even upwards of 90 hours a week during busy season. Busy season is a little bit different depending on whether you work in audit or tax, but it usually starts after New Year's and goes until April 15th. Obviously, we all know is the tax deadline. So that beginning portion of the year is usually very, very busy and you are working those long, hard hours. In the private sector, you may work longer hours during month close, quarter close, or year end. But a pro is that you are typically, number one, compensated pretty well, whether that's bonuses that are offered or generous PTO time. I've also seen that across the board. Another pro of working in accounting is there's also really good career growth opportunities. I have seen a lot of jobs available when it's difficult to find jobs in other industries. And as I just stated, there's really good career growth opportunities. If you want to climb that corporate ladder and work your way up, accounting is a great career for you. It is very common to start at the bottom, start as a staff level accountant or associate level accountant, and work your way up to being a senior accountant, and then a manager, and then a senior manager, director, etc., and climb up that corporate ladder. As long as you're doing a good job and you're meeting performance expectations, you are almost guaranteed to see promotions in a pretty standard time frame. In addition to those career growth opportunities and those stepping stones that are well laid out, you typically have a well laid out career path. So it's nice to have a goal to work towards and an end game in mind. The last thing that I wanted to cover is just some advice, and this advice goes for any job, any career, anyone. So number one, I just want to say don't give up. I've had a few people comment on my videos asking about the job market or asking about career opportunities, how to get a job, etc. And I know it is really tough out there right now for a lot of people. So my biggest advice is just do not give up. And whether that's you're just joining the workforce, you just graduated, you're looking for your first career opportunity, or even if you're switching jobs, maybe you're working as an accountant currently and you're not loving it and you would like to go somewhere else, do not stop the job hunt no matter what stage of life you're in right now. I promise you, speaking from experience again, that there is a job out there that is for you, that will make you happy, and that will provide you with everything that you're looking for. Piece of advice number 2 is to make lateral moves. This kind of goes along with if you are searching for a new career or aren't loving where you're at in the field of accounting right now. Now, obviously, if you've tried accounting, it's not for you, you don't like it, then by all means, please find something you're passionate about and find a career that makes sense for you and makes you happy. But if you're just not happy in your job position, there might be other roles. If you've tried public accounting, try private. Try different industries, try different positions, try everything. Because I can tell you that I'm working on 5 years of being graduated from college, and in those 5 years, I've tried at least 4 different roles to land on a job now that I'm super, super happy with and very passionate about. My next piece of advice is do not settle. So don't settle on a job, don't settle on compensation. If you know that you deserve to be paid more, know your worth. I promise you again, there is a company out there that will hire you and will pay you what you're worth. So do not settle for less. Also, make sure you maintain a healthy work-life balance. This can be difficult, and especially if you are in a remote or hybrid schedule, that can be especially difficult because you're at home all the time or for the majority of the time. So it can be really hard to differentiate between work time and living the rest of your life. So try and make that distinction. Always keep a healthy work-life balance to the best of your ability. And if you feel that your job is impeding that, it may not be the right position for you. And I'm not saying that that means you won't work long hours or you won't have difficult times, but overall, just as a generalization, try to keep a healthy work-life balance on a consistent basis. My last piece of advice is to not compare yourself to others. Everybody is at different phases in their lives, and that is okay. Do not compare where you're at with where other people are at. It's okay, take your time. I promise you, it is better to take your time and have a job that you really enjoy than to just jump into a position and end up not liking it and having to find something new right after you start. And do not compare where you're at to where other people are at. Because you never know, those people might be miserable at their jobs and you're out here doing your best and you're gonna find a position that is right for you. And on that note, that is the end of my questions. If you guys have any other questions or if you would like any more advice, if there was anything that I didn't answer in this video and you would like to hear more, please comment down below. And if there are more questions that I can answer, maybe in the future I can do another type of sit down Q&A video. So please, please, please give me lots of feedback. I wanna hear all of your thoughts. I wanna hear all of your questions. And lastly, just thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And of course, subscribe. Thank you guys. Bye.